Yeah, you guys are...
Ayuboan, everyone! And welcome back to...
What?
Ayuboan?
Boan.
Ayuboan means welcome.
Oh!
And are you Boa? No, Ayuboan.
Are you Boa? I love her!
Welcome back to Beyond the Northern Wall, your weekly talk show with me, Kayla, and yes, I got a haircut today, y'all.
Look at her. Look at her.
This is all the blues gone, but, y'all, this looks great. Thanks, Phyllis.
Of course,
Phyllis
gorgeous.
Thanks, y'all. So, yes, I got a haircut. Let's just all appreciate that because...
It looks...
I literally went into our friend Jay, and a lot of people on Core get their hair cut by Jay because he is a good friend of ours.
He's a great
And
friend.
Jay was like, what are you going to do? Because usually I get my hair colored. And I was like, Jay, I'm taking it all off. And he was like, no, you're not. And I was like, yeah, it's chopping it all off. And he was like, what are you trying to go for? And I was like a K-pop idol. And he was like a boy K-pop? And I said, yeah. And he was like, all right, let's do it.
So good. Looks
Hey,
so good.
thanks, y'all. Anyways, so welcome back. This is episode 9. And I know... Okay.
9.
I know. This annotated and brief history of the Core is neither annotated nor brief.
It is far from brief.
It's far from brief. And this, I'm not even going over everything we could go over.
Like, you skipped over 107th a lot.
I skipped over the whole year, and
Over,
it's
like, what
still on
happened in 107.
episode 9. Anyway, so I know we are going into FMA, and a lot of Core or comrades were thinking, we're going to bring Shellen in and talk about Alphonse. But if you've actually ever seen any interview that we've had before with Shell, everyone always asks him what it was like to be Al and what it was like to be in the armor. So I'm going to save Shellen for we're going to let him talk about a different year because he always talks about FMA year. So instead, I brought in our very own Miss Anna May.
Hello.
Joseph.
Hello.
Joseph actually played Scar, which we're gonna get into the whole casting of Scar because you did not expect.
I didn't expect Scar.
No, not at all. So we're gonna start, and I'm gonna kind of prompt you on this. We ended last week with Ronin Expo, where we did Idol Scouts. I forgot to say when we did Idol Scouts, we went to go take pictures in Little Tokyo.
Oh, those were so cute.
They were super cute, but then poor Kai got surrounded by awkward humans. She was just sitting there, and then these boys just came up to her, and it's funny because it's Kai, so she just doesn't she just was like, what?
Yeah.
She's this beautiful, dressed as Neptune, and she's just like, I'm taking a picture with my friends, go away. So Ronin Expo was fun. That's all I remember. Again,
I'm trying to remember Ronin.
Oh, we had a workshop where we did
Was that the first workshop that was on the bottom?
Not on the bottom. It was in that weird room, and we did the music video freestyle video with comrades. Oh, was it in the bottom? No.
It wasn't.
The one.
Oh, sorry. I slightly.
It was.
Wait.
Because the one in the garden, I wasn't there, and that was the year before.
This was in the
that side room.
The side room. Oh, I remember the side room.
Yeah.
I was dressed up as Tuxedo Mask that year. I remember that one.
Yes, because you did it for.
I remember because for the Idol Scouts, you guys wanted to do something. I was like, oh, I'll just be Tuxedo. I'll just be Tuxedo Mask. And just hop on. Yeah, I remember I hopped on stage for 1
Oh, you
second.
did!
For a second.
You did! And you did
Rio.
the rose
Yeah,
moment.
for the rose moment. I remember that. Okay.
I forgot you did. Wow. I also don't remember that set.
What did you guys do?
And we couldn't get a proper video of it because where Andrew was for the video or whoever was filming, it wasn't far back enough. There wasn't enough space to move far back enough to get the whole stage.
Yeah.
So I don't even think we have video footage of that. Yeah, I threw the rose. That was it.
I threw the rose. That's what that was. I threw the rose. I had to throw the rose at Rio.
And you tried to do it like Tuxedo Mask, but it doesn't. It's not how roses go. You know, Tuxedo Mask's whole thing is he just comes, gives an encouraging personal growth speech to Sailor Moon. And then
he's the most supportive.
Yeah, he's just
also doesn't do anything. So he's the damsel in distress.
He also he stops the fight with the rose. He just goes, everyone stop! I gotta give her a second to gather her bearings.
It's so funny because it's it's a single rose that stops the fight.
Everything.
And as a villain, I'd be like, what is going on?
I would not stop for a rose.
I wouldn't stop for a rose.
I don't know. He's a motivational poster. You're not wrong.
He is.
Oh my! I thought I could cosplay you with my hair. Oh. I really could. I could cosplay you.
It's funny.
When you know when you do your drag makeup and then you take it off and you're like Liza.
Oh yeah, Liza Minnelli.
I can do you.
Liza Minnelli.
Oh my God! Now we are sisters. We're pointer sisters.
We're pointer sisters.
So when you do drag now, we're pointer sisters. Okay, so Ronin Expo is done, but and I'm technically we start AX before we do Ronin Expo, but let's pretend for the sake of chronological order. Now we're going into full FMA. Now when we cast FMA, this casting was so not. It wasn't easy. So for you, what was your experience of the whole casting of FMA? Because it was a big thing that we weren't doing Beyond the Northern Wall. This is the first time we're doing one anime, and we're kind of doing Attack on Titan style. And there's so many characters, so many main characters. The whole thing's full of main characters. So for you, how was it? The whole process with everything. Just a fan.
It's hot, guys. Anyway, I remember this is actually prior to casting, or like when we got all our roles, all our people. I remember telling Kayla and amongst other people too. I think it was at HQ, and I was saying that like because my favorite character from FMA is Edward Elric, but I also know like what they want to see from the main character or from the dancer is their dance capabilities, not necessarily like the look. If they look a certain way, that doesn't necessarily mean that they will be that character. And the casting has always been how does a fellow chorusman embody that person through their dance. So immediately, like, I wasn't ever sure if I could be Edward Elric, even though I really wanted to be. That and also prior to all of that, I remember we also had a dinner date one time, and you had asked me who I would cast, and the only person that I was able to say definitively at that time was Trini as Envy. I was like, she's the person who I feel like she could be Envy, like, to a T, and she did, and I still fangasm over her being Envy.
Usually when we start casting, like when me and Sonali think of these things a year in advance, and we already said at the very beginning of the year, we knew Juju was Ed, and we knew Chibs, Lizzie, was Lust. And then like halfway through the year, we agreed with you, Trini was Envy. And then that was it. Literally no one else was set. Even in my head, Sonali really, really wanted Rawson as Maze Hughes. But even in casting, that wasn't set. And we already thought of Shell as Al. That wasn't set. So we did the freestyles.
The freestyles, that was so much fun. So, what happened was...
What happened? You need your light.
Everyone was, like, put into groups, and I remember we were all against the wall, and you and Sonali...
That sounds so horrible. We're all against the wall.
Up against the wall! And basically you gave us a character from FMA to try and embody that person. And so, like, I remember specifically, I was, you gave me Roy.
I remember that one. I was just going to say.
And then you were Hawkeye. I remember you forgot midway through freestyling if I was Roy.
Yeah, I didn't know who you were.
You came up to me and then you, like, danced with me, hoping that I was Roy. And I remember afterwards, I was like, you asked me, are you Roy? I was like, yeah, I was.
I was like, I really hope.
We hoped and prayed. It was great.
So when we did, because you did a lot.
Cool.
You did a lot of, like, we put you between Roy. We put you as Roy a lot, actually, when we did those freestyles. Everyone changed it up. When we were freestyling, what was the favorite character for you to freestyle?
I can only recall Roy.
Ironically, you've been Roy more than Roy.
More than
Jason was Roy.
So I think it's really funny. I can only recall Roy, but I vividly I don't remember freestyling, but I remember watching other people do it. I remember watching Liz be Hawkeye. And
so good.
Okay, so this is slight calling her out a little bit, but it's very important because I remember we were all up against the wall. I remember it was the first group, and Liz was right next to me, and Liz straight up asked me what were like the traits of Hawkeye, because I think at that time I don't think she had seen it or knew enough about each character.
Oh yeah.
So I remember she asked me like specific traits, and I told her like she follows Roy to the grave, kind of like she is
ride or die.
She's the ride or die. She's the lieutenant and all that stuff. And then I just remember stepping back and just watching her be Hawkeye while I'm just supposed to be freestyling.
But you end up watching people sometimes.
Yeah, especially if you want to take a moment and breathe. So you like take 2 steps to breathe and watch when you freestyle.
It was interesting because we kept mixing people up. And here's the thing, it's FMA. Mm-hmm. People have their favorite characters of FMA. Everyone had who they wanted to be for FMA. You wanted to be Ed.
Yeah,
originally.
I wanted to be Ed.
I desperately wanted to be Hawkeye. That's who I wanted to be. Hawkeye was the one. I was like, I'm going to do everything in my power. I studied her moves. I'm going to make sure I do it. And I know Richie loves Roy Mustang. That's his favorite character. I know it's his favorite character. So he really wanted Roy. So we did those freestyles for like a whole rehearsal.
Yeah.
It took the whole 3.5 hours because me and Soulmate were like, crap, literally at this point everyone could be anyone.
Anyone could be anyone. I remember you talking about that too.
Anyone. So we went to, at the Korean festival that we did, where we did the K-pop set, I remember we did go to K-barbecue after the K-pop set, because why wouldn't we go to K-barbecue after a K-pop set?
Exactly.
And we called some chorsmen up. I remember like some board members who hadn't been performing came to join us. And I remember Jason was randomly there. He never comes out, but he was there. And so we put all the board members together. Me and Soulmate started talking to board. And we're like, okay, we need to start thinking of castings. So we went through at one point, everybody on the team was Roy. Everyone was Roy. Like, I remember the only way I could be Hawkeye was if Shellin was Roy or Richie was Roy, because of the dance dynamic. But I remember in that, I was like, okay, so Soulmate kept going, Rawson needs to be Mace. And then at one point, Rawson was Roy. And then at one point, Rawson was Al. He was Alphonse. Isn't that weird?
That's so weird. He would have. It wouldn't
have been. Yeah, he would have passed out way more. So he was Al at one point, and then, but Soulmate kept going, no, he needs to be Mace Hughes. And I was like, if Soulmate really wants this, like, she wants it for a reason. Perfect casting.
Perfect. It's okay. I remember when we had to do our dress rehearsal, and Rostin needed to, because he doesn't naturally grow full face beard, because his is literally like right here,
and then here,
and then the long sideburns. But it never connects at the jawline. So I remember I grabbed my mascara wand, and I put hair on his jawline, or drew hair on his jawline, and immediately I was like, wow, he looks great. Wow, that's Mace Hughes.
He looked so good. You taught him this, and then I helped him get that one weird bang with his hair. He looked like
Mace Hughes.
At AX, he walked up and everyone was like,
Hayes Muse. Oh, God.
Hayes Muse. Oh, my God, it's Hayes Muse. He was such a perfect Mace Hughes. So, Soulmate, to a T on that casting. And then we started going through everyone else. And it was funny because you were Roy for a long time.
Really?
Yeah. You and Shellin were Roy for a long time. Because Soulmate really wanted to give me Hawkeye, but I was like, no. Bro TP killed Hawkeye. Like,
hands down.
She is Hawkeye. It doesn't matter how much I want it. She was Hawkeye. And I was like, the only person who could be the Mustang to her Hawkeye. And I remember because he was sitting right behind me, I was like, is this one right here? And then everyone was like, okay, but maybe someone else. And I kept, okay, you know how I feel about Jason. I really wanted Jason to be Roy. Mm-hmm. I kept advocating. I said, you know what? No, it's got to be this guy. And they were like, really? And I said, yes. And the two Aquarii together will just Aquarii together. So they'll be perfect. And then we were like, and then I think it was Soulmate who was like, all right, I'm going to throw something out there. Joseph as Scar. And it was awkwardly unanimous. All of us were like, yes.
I'm also curious, was there anyone who was casted as Scar?
Jason originally was supposed to be Scar.
Interesting.
But then I really wanted him for a Mustang, and so then someone was like, then the only other Scar could be... we tried to say Richie, and we're like, no, it has to be Joseph. Mm-hmm. So which is like... Before I tell you why do you think you were Scar?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because everyone, I remember looking at everyone and thinking, dang, spot on casting. Like, Trini as Envy, LA as May.
So cute.
So freaking cute.
Just...
You know, like, I thought everyone was so...
You know, Rio was supposed to be May? At one point, right? Rio was May for like a good hour or two. Uh-huh. And then I think I was like, wait, May is like this little flexible martial arts fly around. And I was like, it has to be LA.
Yeah.
Small and can just like...
Small and can do a lot of things.
Yeah. It's gotta be her. And then, especially when we were like, we need a Gluttony. And we're like, you know who could pull off Gluttony and make it look really good?
Oh, yeah, Rio. Oh, Rio as Gluttony was
Rio.
So... Like, literally everyone was so spot on to their
like
character.
She's like the perfect cosplayer.
She's the perfect chameleon.
Yeah, you could put her in anything, and she just becomes that person.
Like Naruto, come on, like the cutest Naruto. Who else? Like, even Lanfan, like.
Okay, Lauren loves Lanfan, so that one actually was kind of a no-brainer because it fit how she dances. Mm-hmm. And then she just also loved the character, so it came that extra bit. So the reason we put you as Scar was literally because we're like, okay, who could sustain that much energy? Because Scar is just destructive.
He's like a juggernaut.
Yeah, he's a juggernaut. He just has a lot of energy and power. And so we're like, who could have a lot of energy and power? And we were like, Joseph. Yeah. Your freestyle... Jumping forward a little bit, your freestyle as Scar.
I'm proud of that one.
It was so good.
I'm proud of that one.
You should be because when it came forward and it was sit down, be humble. That was such a good freestyle.
Pretty happy with that. I wasn't sure how that was gonna happen, but I was like, I'm pretty.
It was good.
But like,
and you got the hand down.
The hand down was great. That was so cool. But like for me, it was more of like the journey of trying to emulate Scar.
Yeah.
Was like once we got the cast list and trying to then like, okay, well, I shouldn't be dwelling on like, well, I didn't get this character, so let me just like, well, this is what I got, so let me just do the best, right? Yeah. So I remember going through it and I was like, okay, so he's just this destructive, full energy loner type, but then he's also like
sad past.
It's
like super emo boy.
So it's sort of like fun getting into Scar's mentality or like persona and that, and also finding out that he doesn't have eyebrows, and that was a fun revelation.
Oh, we're gonna get into the makeup in a second.
That was a fun revelation
because everyone's makeup was insane. I will say, Core stepped up the makeup.
Oh yes,
everyone stepped up the makeup
for FMA.
So you had been casted as Scar. We now had the full cast list. Here's the thing. Okay.
Who were you? Oh, you were a boy. You agreed.
I'm gonna get a little sassy, a little fat and sassy for a second. Everyone is always like, okay, I'm not gonna say everyone. People, humans, tend to like to be main characters. Tend to like to be in the spotlight. But we cast everyone to a T. The only person we didn't consider every aspect of the character was Greed. We didn't have a Greed. and I didn't have a character. That was the only reason. At the end, everyone was casted. We're like, okay, this person has to be this person has to be. Like, even Shawnee, to be the truth, we're like, Shawnee needs to be part of the homunculi because of the dancing aspect, and he needs to be part of that area, but there's no one else he could be, so we created, okay, Truth, he's in bright, bloody white, so you can't miss him on the stage.
He was a white blood cell on stage.
He was a white blood cell on stage. And he's like in the center the whole time.
Yeah.
So then we're like, okay, who haven't we casted yet? And all of us were like, we don't have a Greed. There's literally no one who's Greed. And they're like, well, who does have a character? And we looked at the list. I was like, oh crap, I don't have a character. Well, put me in a wig that makes me look like my little brother Ariel.
Also, how'd you fit all your hair into that small wig? Like,
It's
that's
remember when you
still
saw me
amazing.
put
That was
Jillian Myers on?
Yeah. It's like a Jillian Myers wig, but like it's shorter than that one. So how did you're so literally okay? FMA. Everyone has a main character.
Bald cap.
Everyone had their wig caps. Everyone had their wigs. Everyone looked so freaking good. I'm always okay. I love whenever we get close to finishing a set. I always love when it's just rehearsal, and I like, wow, y'all look amazing.
It's also fun when it's like before you see the final product and you can see where it's like kind of hit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, all right. So now that we have casted our characters, you had to think about, everyone kind of did their own makeup. Yeah. Everyone figured out, like Shishi and Rio figured out the bald cap.
Yeah.
Amazing. Shishi was legit with the little sprig of hair and the little
sprig of hair,
and the mustache.
Okay, and that's a lace mustache.
So good.
It's a lace mustache, and I remember freaking out over it. I was like,
Shishi looked so good.
So good.
As Armstrong. Jay Dang as Olivier with the long blonde hair.
She
and
looked
then
so good.
Trini figured out how to do
like a style of trying, because she has long, luscious, straight hair, and she found a way to be able to manipulate her hair to look like Greed, because normally Greed's hair is just like
Envy.
Greed. Oh God. Envy. We were
Envy.
just, yes. Mm-hmm.
It's because we were talking about Greed. You're fine. You know.
Because Envy's hair is like out.
It's like a spider.
It's like
it's like an umbrella.
Yeah. But like she found a way to be able to still be Envy with her hair, even if it wasn't like out, because otherwise she would have taken 6 feet both sides.
Yeah. It was really creative.
It was so good.
So now Scar had probably the most intense face makeup. So how did you did that all on your own? You just showed up one day with the scar. Like how did I live with you and I didn't see this happen. You just came to rehearsal and I was like, what? Where'd your eyebrows go?
Okay.
Why you look so Asian?
So Asian with like no eyebrows. I remember it was a practice, and I remember realizing that Scar has no eyebrows, because I did try doing like the X with my eyebrows with just the white, and I was like, this looks so wrong. I don't understand. Why does it look so wrong?
Weird.
It looks weird if you have eyebrows. So I was like, okay. So then I learned how to block eyebrows for Scar.
You did.
And then and that's when I remember when I had showed that to everyone. I was like, guys, Scar has no eyebrows. I'm so excited to have like no eyebrows.
When you said it, you don't notice it until you told us.
Yeah, until someone had said it.
Because you were just looking at the X.
Also, because like it's animation, so he doesn't have eyebrows, but they did draw like a brow bone, so you understand where. But
also in anime, if you notice, like their eyebrows like hover out.
Yeah, so it's like
in front of their hair. If you have a bang, your eyebrow magically goes in front
over.
Of
But anyway, I remember like doing it, and it was actually you gave me a tip, because you said to use. So Mac, is it Mac?
Where are we looking? We both went.
Is it Mac? What is the makeup brand? I think it's Mac. Anyway, it's a liquid paint.
Oh yes,
It's
yes,
a liquid
it is
paint.
Mac.
Okay, yeah, it's a liquid paint. that you had suggested because of, at the time, Christian, who's now Camilla.
Cam.
Because you got advice from
Yes,
him
and I
at the
brought,
time.
and he let me borrow the white paint.
Borrow white paint, so then I tried it out first with eyebrows, then without eyebrows. And it's like, oh, it has to be without eyebrows.
Yeah.
And then going through the process, like, okay, well, then it just looks like a slap of white on me. So obviously, like, learning to making sure that I can contour the edges so it
That
looks
was so
deepened,
good, yeah.
and then like creating shadows for it. So it was a fun experience to figure out, like, oh, it's fun face painting.
The depth of it, like, when I say leveled up, it was so good. Can you please tell them about your original yellow jacket?
Oh! Sorry. Okay. So, first I will talk about how, with FMA, like, the reason getting into the more militaristic style is because, one, to emulate AOT, but two, all the blues, we call it the blues because they're all in the blue uniforms. So you guys bought a huge bolt of blue fabric and created every single one of the blues. And so all the ones who weren't a blue had to sort of figure out, like, what are they going to wear? What are they going to do? So I remember because Scar is, like, it's an easy cosplay because it's a yellow jacket, white undershirt. Technically, it's a white sleeveless undershirt. And then, like, black pants and black boots.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah, because when he does take it off, he shows his muscles.
Oh yeah, he has to show his whole alchemy arm.
This one.
You didn't have the tattoo?
I did not.
That's a lot.
I was thinking of doing, like, getting mesh and then printing,
right.
and then
But you
wearing that.
very
Like,
rarely took your jacket.
I didn't take off there was only one moment where I took off my jacket.
Yeah, and it was during the fight scene.
Yeah. But anyway, so originally, so when we look for costumes, we, like, go thrift shopping because, save money because that's the best way to do it, or we can make it. So Kayla thrift shopped and found the
Coraline's.
She found the yellowest rain jacket. Looks like it's from Coraline, and she's like, "Oh, perfect! This is gonna be Scar's jacket." I remember I wore it, and I lost my shoulders. It is designed to just be, like, so slick. Because it's a rain jacket.
You have a good broad shoulder. Roston has a good broad shoulder. We put it on both of you.
We lost our shoulders. We look like...
It was weird.
I
don't know what you looked like. You looked crazy.
We were a yellow zucchini. I don't know.
That squash. Just like that squash on the curb. And then Richie tried to. I bought shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads to, like, lift it up.
And so Richie sat and he sewed. That was also the day a bunch of corpsmen came to work on stuff. That was the day we all found out Jason didn't know how to paint. Like we said,
right?
We gave him knee pads. We gave him Al's knee pads, and we said, "Can you paint these silver?" And he said, "I don't know how to do that." And I was like, "I don't know what that means." He's like, "I don't know how to paint." And in my head, I'm like, "It's indicative. The paintbrush and the paint. It's like." It's intuitive.
It's so intuitive.
It's so intuitive.
There's a paintbrush and paint.
Skylar, who was his bro TP, had to teach him how to paint.
Like, it'd be different if it's, like, you have to use a primer and, like, have to, like, go... Like, no, just slather that thing on.
Like, it was weird. But then once he learned how to paint, he was like, I can paint a bunch of things. And I'm like, that was just... Sorry.
Also strange, like, he's never painted even in elementary school.
It's weird because we work with kids, and I'm pretty sure part of our thing is we have to do crafts.
That's true.
He's at the same job as me, so Mustang. That's why he needs Hawkeye. But so then we put the shoulder pads in those, and it didn't work out. So then Joseph found his own yellow jacket.
Yeah, first the shoulder pads. Even with the shoulder pads, still disappeared. Your shoulder disappears.
Gone.
There's no coming back from that.
Gone.
So I went out and tried to look for a yellow jacket, and so I would only ever find blue, black,
Yellow's
or
hard.
white. Yellow was like yellow. You're not gonna find yellow, but I was fortunate to find a white denim jacket, which I then dyed it yellow, and it actually looks pretty good. Hello?
Did you hear that?
No.
It sounded like someone banged on our door. Maybe it's the neighbors.
Yes, it's the neighbors. Okay, done. It's the ghost challenge. Go beat up a ghost. Have you seen that? It's
yes,
so dumb. I don't understand.
Okay, we'll do our own version of ghost challenge. I don't know.
Anyway, so I ended up getting a white denim jacket, dyed it yellow.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it was such a good yellow.
It was such a good yellow. I'm so happy with that. It came out good. And on top of that, I remember looking at pictures of Scar. I was like, but he has those little rings on his collar. And I was like, how am I going to do that? Like, I don't understand what that is. So what I got, I got some grommets and punched holes into the collar.
Oh, wow.
And then I grabbed some fabric and I got shower rings, big, large shower rings, wrapped it with white fabric around.
Showerins?
Shower rings.
Showerin?
Showerings.
Sorry.
Shower rings. Wrapped in fabric, and then took that and then basically like stuck that through the grommets. So basically it's like a ring and then a fabric.
Oh, and then
the fabric went through the grommet and the collar. So then I had these giant shower rings on my collar.
So that is cosplay corner right there.
So I was like, okay, well this is how he looks like. So I was like, okay, cool, nice. I'm done. I'm comfortable.
Your cosplay was actually so we had the blues, which was the uniforms. Then we had the homunculi, and then we had the mains, which was like Al, Winry, Ed. There was a fourth. I forget. And then we called you guys the Friends.
We were the Friends.
Yeah, it was Mei Ling, Lon Flan, and Scar. We called you guys the Friends because you guys always stuck together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like even in the story, like they're
just the Friends. Okay, before we get into more of the rehearsal process, would you like to tell the Aquarius story? Would you like me to tell the Aquarius story? Which one? This one where you 8-5.
Sorry.
Do you want me to tell it? Okay. Because this is our favorite Aquarius. Okay.
So funny.
Some context, if you will. Aquarii are aliens. And we know this, and we love this. My father is an Aquarius. I've lived my whole life understanding that Aquarii are aliens. Their main thing is they are either forever living in the past or the future. They are always stuck in the past. They're always trying to work towards the future, and they're never in the present. So, Jason is an Aquarius, and he's Mustang. Liz is an Aquarius, and she's Hawkeye. We have now entered
the Twilight
Zone.
So,
we're doing Formation. It's when the blues come out to Beyonce's Formation.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
And Joseph, you were there.
I was standing in for Koki.
Oh, there we go.
I was standing in for Koki, so I was learning part of Koki's track.
Okay, because it's funny, in my head, at one point you were standing in between them doing this. And I was done. Okay, so this is how Joseph got stuck in the Twilight Zone. Jason is leading in one side, and they're marching in. And then Liz is leading in the other side. And I said, you're going to start on 5, and then you're going to end on 1. That was the wrong counts. Those are the counts that I have in my head. I don't know if those were actually the counts that we used, but that's what's stuck in my head. So we started the music. They actually started late, and then they ended on the wrong time, but what they ended on worked. So I turned off the music, and everyone was like confused because everyone's like, wait, we did that wrong. And I said, no, it's okay. I'm going to redo it. Now I want you guys to start on 1. And like, okay, so everyone goes back, but then Jason calls across the room. He goes, did we start on 5? To which Bro TP responds, we end on 8. To which Jason goes, we started on 5? And Bro TP Liz responds with, we end on 8. So he's asking about the past, to which she's answering about the future, and he is responding with the past, and she is answering the future. Meanwhile, I'm going, are you guys ready now? Are you guys ready now? Are you guys ready now? And in the whole time, it keeps going 5, 8 now, 5, 8 now. Joseph is standing in the middle going 5, 8 now, 5, 8 now, 5, 8 now, and you're growing more and more anxious. And you're like,
where do we start? Where do we go?
You just start laughing because you're like, oh my god, they don't know what, they don't know.
And then, because the funny thing is, they're both right. They're both right, and they just wouldn't let go of being right and wrong.
It was so good. We died for a good 5 minutes.
It was so funny. Like,
it was
why?
so funny. It was such an Aquarius. And I remember you were like, that was Aquarius. They had created a space-time vortex. So we were stuck in time. We couldn't move forward. I was like, oh no. And everyone else is just waiting patiently going, what are we doing?
I don't even know if anyone even realized what
was happening. They did not care that they were not answering each other. Because they weren't getting frustrated or impatient. They're just like, 5? No, on 8. We started on 5? No, we end on 8. But we started on 5. Yeah, we end on 8. And I was like, what? But that is also another Aquarius before that conversation. I don't know when this was. It was Bro GP and Shawnee, another Aquarius. We're in the workroom. I was at my desk editing. And they're just working in the workspace next to me. And I'm just arbitrarily listening to the conversation. To which I heard Shawnee say, why doesn't 1 + 1 = 11? To which Liz responds with, because 8. I cannot tell you. First of all, Brochifi's really stuck on the number 8. But I cannot tell you how long I really tried to keep working. I stared at the same clip because that bothered me so much. I couldn't logically deduce what could have led to that conversation and how they both were fine with the answers they gave each other. Why doesn't 1 + 1 = 11? Because 8. And Shawnee was perfectly okay with that answer, and Broti was perfectly okay with what he had said. Aquarii. I literally at one point I was like, what? I was just like, I don't understand. So that, needless to say, when we did formation, that piece took a couple rehearsals to finish. It was not finished in one rehearsal.
It was not.
But, I mean, true to form, Mustang and Hawkeye had their own language that no one was privy to.
No one could understand.
No one could understand. They were fine with it, and that's all that mattered, apparently. Talk about us being at Talent Factory, putting together the fight scene, the meta fight scene.
We were at Talent Factory?
Yeah, remember the tumble floor? Do you remember that?
Hold on. I'm trying to access.
Remember when I said to Jason and Can, and I was like, do whatever you want, or do like a flip jump in. So then Jason rolled it.
Oh! Took a while. I like trying to remember like what happened.
And then we played.
I have a lot of memories of Talent Factory outside, of course. So I'm just like
natural state.
When were we there? Which.
There was so Jason never listens to what I say. It was.
I mean that's fact.
That's fact. Ling and Mustang had to do a trick in. So they're like, I was like, what trick can you guys do together? And they both did a jump one. So I said, okay, do like a jump turn trick in. So Can does it. Jason decides to do a roll in. So I said, okay, how about you guys do a roll in? So Can does a roll in. Jason does a completely different move. So I said, okay, just do whatever move you want. So Can just does whatever move you want. Jason does nothing. He just said it. I was like, you are trying so hard to defy me. Like, what? And he was like, what? And everyone was laughing. I was like, what? Why?
As you are recounting this memory, I can visually see it in my head, and I remember it now.
Everyone was
now
dying.
That you're saying it. But the moment you asked me, I was like, I don't remember.
Do you remember? We all went to the foam pit.
I remember going to the foam pit. I remember us doing it across the floors because you really Kayla and Sonali really want us to do somersaults. That is the bare minimum. The bare minimum is for us to do somersaults. And I remember all of us in lines going across the floor on the tumble floor doing somersaults, doing dive rolls, doing jump dive rolls, doing cartwheels.
Just trying.
Some of us can't cartwheel.
Some of us can't cartwheel.
But hey. Urban taught us how to properly do cartwheels last year, so that was.
And she also properly taught us. Now our somersaults go straight forward instead of veering awkwardly to the
because
side.
The FMA year, we sucked at doing somersaults, but I feel confident in doing a proper somersault and a proper cartwheel.
Now that we dive rolls
Urban
because of my little.
Yeah.
Thank you, Urban, for doing that. I also I don't know if this was then. I think it was at a different time when we were there. I remember we were trying to do cartwheels like years before, and Andrew said, "I can't do a cartwheel because my arm is itchy."
No, okay, that wasn't FMA because he wasn't part of FMA year. But we were at Talent Factory again. This is not FMA year, but the year before or the year before that. But literally, okay, so Andrew had a rash on his arm.
But it was like here.
It was just like on his forearm or something.
Not on anything you would use.
Touch, unless you actively touched his arm or he like rubbed his arm on things. But his excuse for not doing a cartwheel. So he went above and beyond and did a one-handed cartwheel. And I remember you asked, why are you doing one-handed? And his response was, I have a rash on my arm.
And I, again, caught in that moment, we were like, logic doesn't sit. And I'm staring going, why can't you use the... What kind of rash is this?
I remember I asked Andrew, did you break your arm? And he's like, no. I have a rash.
He's like, I have a rash. And it was like on the elbow up. And I was like...
okay. You're lucky.
Oh, man. But we did do... That was when we... Not figured out, but it
that was when we had
we...
to create the meta scene for, like, people coming in.
Yes.
That one was so much fun.
We had a lot of fun throwing LA. Because we could all throw her... a lot. That was fun. And that was also when Shawnee did that video with the fire fans.
Oh yeah, the fire fans!
Yeah, this one. So good. We were done with rehearsal.
We were done, and we were all like goofing off, and dude, Shawnee is so hilarious.
That was funny. That was good.
So good.
We were so excited to use those fire fans.
That was the first time we used the fire fans.
That was the first time, yeah. Because that was the whole... I really wanted to do the death of Lust. Like, that was my favorite scene.
It's so iconic.
It's so iconic. It's such a good moment. And that's also, like, why Chibs had to be Lust and Jason had to be Roy. Because they also have a great dance chemistry together. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to kill this. But, like, so everyone, like, putting together FMA was... We have a behind the scenes of that.
Yeah.
Putting together FMA. It was pretty iconic, and... That's kind of where a part of me and Soulmate get a little hurt when people are like, anytime people say, oh, they should have watched the anime and done it better on stage. And it's like, we do watch the anime. We care a lot about the animes that we're putting on stage.
That?
Just commenters.
I mean, if they, like, why won't they do it then?
Someone put on our... Sometimes you can't put things on the stage because it's not going to read. But that's why we had the whole conversation of Brotherhood versus original. Because
some people didn't even get that.
They didn't get that. They're like, I don't understand
why there was two lusts.
Yeah.
That was a comment I've seen.
There's literally a whole conversation where we ask who she is based on, and I was like, so then are you a real fan of FMA?
Yeah.
Are we girl gaming you rather than you girl gaming us? So, anyway, so we put together FMA. It was epic. Those blue uniforms. Okay, I want to say mad props to Rio for she built the pattern for those jackets.
She did.
From scratch, just eyeballed it, created a pattern for us to make. And then Amy, Kai, NJ, Little, me, Soulmate, I can't even remember, Rio. So many people sewed those blue uniforms. Dear Lord in heaven was making those blue uniforms the hardest thing ever. But it all culminated when we went to go take our photo shoot at AX. We're all dressed up. We all go to AX. And also, shout out to NJ for making the homunculized tattoos.
So good.
She designed those, printed, made them. Good. I was like, I don't even want a tattoo of homunculi, but now I want a tattoo of the homunculi, because she also, in that same year, made our Death Eater tattoos.
Yeah, she did!
And I was like, this is technically the symbol of like a genocidal maniac, but I want it because it looks so good. So, and she also made one so that Rio could put the tattoo for the photo on her tongue.
Yeah.
The Penguin Creates.
So good.
Go buy masks from her. NJ's amazing. So we're like, okay, we're all gonna walk out to go to the lobby of AX to take our photos. And I was like, Richie was Fuhrer Bradley. Mm-hmm. By the way, the best Fuhrer Bradley. Like, I know he loves Mustang, but he was. I call him Fuhrer to this day.
He's so epic.
He was so epic.
Also,
King Bradley.
Richie's such a great person.
Richie is a great person. And I said, you're going to lead your blues because you were the Fuhrer.
You're the Fuhrer. You have
and
to.
You're going to lead, and then Mustang's going to follow. You're going to lead the blues. He was like, yep, let's go. And he committed. He has also him with those swords.
Yeah.
Oh, Richie was so good as a Fuhrer. So they walked out, and it was great because we had, the mains go first, and then we had the homunculi, and then we had because the blues were just so epic.
And there's so many
the friends were with the mains.
Yeah.
Friends always stayed with mains. And so it was great because as a homunculi, first we're watching everyone watch us. And the homunculi were in the center. I remember watching everyone first see Shell in his full armor.
Yes.
Y'all, me, Yosh, and Shell and Soulmate built that mother trucker. It is good. I did not know it was going to look like that. And it did. It looks great. I also didn't realize how essential that random loincloth is that he wears.
It's so essential.
Because when Shell didn't wear the loincloth, I was like, why do you look weird? And then he puts the loincloth on, and you're like, oh, wow.
You're out.
Yeah.
Without it, he's just a suit of armor.
He's just a suit of armor. With that, he's out. Also, that helmet was originally a Spartan helmet.
Yeah, it was a Spartan helmet with the ones with like the mohawk thingy. That was taken off. We added a horn. Then we used
Warbler
to create the jawline and the
LA
mouth.
helped with that. Ari helped with that.
And then black mesh so that he can actually see through it.
Yep.
Otherwise, like, how is he going to see it? It's supposed to be black, right?
And we had to troubleshoot it to make sure he could, like, bend and stuff. Soulmate hand sewed that weird random part in the front because you can't run it. There's the shit to hand sew that on there.
That.
It's crazy.
It was a monster, and everyone who took part in creating it did a phenomenal freaking job. And
and we're gonna get into actual AX. How hot that was! A heat wave year.
That was 113.
114 was the day that we did the music video outside. But the day we did the freestyle was 112.
Okay.
I will tell you, Shell never complained. He never complained. In that damn stinking suit of armor. He passed out once on stage. He passed out once on stage, but he never complained. So we're watching, and then Juju is just small, little Edward Elric. He just looks like
It's the beginning of Brotherhood where he's short.
He's so short.
Because if you watch the anime, he actually grows taller.
He grows up tall.
So
but it's in the beginning when he's short. So you see Ed and Al walk, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's Ed and Al. And then you see Winry. And I love it because Soulmate always, she didn't expect to be Winry either. Mm-hmm. Because we always talk about it. Soulmate doesn't feel self-conscious about the color of her skin, but also sometimes does. But I was like, but you're Winry. Like, Winry's an Aries. Full throttle.
Yeah.
So you are Winry.
She's an embodiment.
When you see her dress up as it, you don't question. She looks like Winry.
Yeah.
She acts like Winry. You are going to beat up. Why have you forsaken? That's freaking mean. Soulmate was Winry. So they're all walking together, and then you see the friends. You see Scar. It's Scar. You see Lanfan in that. Lauren made her whole Lanfan outfit.
That's Lauren's.
Cand is Ling. He is Ling. He's skinny. He's small-minded. He is Ling, and Ellie is May. And then you see all the homunculi, like with lust and gluttony, so good. And then you, of course, see Trini as envy, and you see JK as Pride. I mean, he just looks like Pride.
He was also a shoe-in of like who. For casting.
Yeah, from the freestyles.
He was a shoe-in. Okay, Pride.
He killed it. And so all the homunculi, and so we got to see everyone's face as the blues came into view. Just all of them military walking with the Fuhrer and Mustang leading the way, with Hawkeye off of the Fuhrer, off of Mustang's shoulder, and all the blues they committed. They walked with their hands behind and they marched down in 2 perfect rows, and everyone was like, "Oh my God!" Like, I remember people saying that. I'm like, these blues look so good. Like right now, they are shiny. Even we watched them come down the stairs, and I was like, "Oh."
I know.
So good.
Gosh, darn it.
So good.
Damn.
And then all of us just standing there, and then we just took our photo shoot, and then we went outside to freestyle in 112-degree weather. So not only is Shell trapped in a hot box, there's no like fan.
The ventilation is through his eye sockets.
Through his eye sockets. And we were like, Shell, you're gonna freestyle first, and then you can get out of it. He actually stayed in it.
He stayed in it, and he stayed because he stayed in it, and he stayed on the side.
Yep.
Either passing out flyers, or he was just like resting on the side.
He stayed at like commitment, but also Chibs is like, she's trapped in her.
Yeah, she's trapped in her gown because the gloves.
The gloves with the fingers
was attached to the dress.
Are sewn on, and then she's wearing pants, like these thick black pants, black thing, and a thick long black wig. So she's also she didn't complain either. She was just like covered. Everyone was, and then the blues are just wearing layers.
Layers.
You have paint literally melting.
I was hoping that it wasn't gonna melt. Like, my brows were coming back out. Like,
you were really like this.
I think I was like,
but you couldn't make an expression, so you.
I know. Okay, the most fun part about Scar was the face, because he just frowns.
But you're frowning and trying to.
This is like that's all I could do. And I was like, I'm angry because it's hot, but I'm angry because I'm Scar.
I'm Scar.
I'm Scar.
And then we did that freestyle. That freestyle was hard.
That freestyle was, 1, hard because of the temperature. 2, it was also a weird time at AX because they were just moving things around, and the area that we usually would freestyle was blocked off. So we used a part that we didn't normally use, and we instead just made a circle, because like if you watched our 2017 one, we
always travel.
Return to the Unknown.
Yeah.
Like we travel throughout the campgrounds.
The convention.
Convention.
That was the first time they put the line tent
outside.
Yeah, on the front.
It was in the front. So then there's an area where it's like, okay, cool, it's shaded. We were able to use that, but it was also a weird area because I remember a lot of the cops were like, you can't be here, or like you couldn't do things.
Yeah, they also thought something was happening.
Yeah, but we're like, no, we're.
And then they realized we were part of the con.
Yeah, it was.
At first they were like, you can't do this. They're like, no, we're performing. And then someone was like, oh, you're performing at AX. Oh, yeah, you can be here. I think in the background, someone's getting arrested.
I know, I think, or getting heavily questioned. You know?
Also, someone came up to Brandon because he is... Who is he? He's,
Havoc.
Havoc. And he has the fake cigarette. It's just a pen that he wrapped in paper so that he could, like, bite down on it the whole time. And someone asked him for a cigarette. He's like, oh, I'm not smoking.
Also, back to Brandon. Dude, he danced the entire set with that in his mouth.
Cigarette in his mouth. Okay, I couldn't do it for Sanji in One Piece. I don't know how he did that. Because I would start slobbering. I'm like,
when we say FMA was so epic, everyone made it epic. Everyone made it epic. Everyone made it epic for their character. Like, that reminded me, Brandon stayed dancing with it. And he kept it in there. And he also was so good as Havoc and so charismatic, because Havoc is charismatic, and he was so charismatic.
So
like
good. You know what's also okay? I'm gonna also say this. So we have this funny thing that we do on Core where we talk about our heights and our proportions. When you're standing, Shellen and now Eddie are the tallest. But during FMA, Shellen was the tallest. The thing is, Shell is like Sonali. They just have really long legs. When they sit down, their torsos disappear. The
I'm
people,
taller than him when
yeah,
they sit down.
everyone's taller than Shellen when they sit down.
Even Rio. Maybe not.
Even Rio. Sonali becomes the shortest person on the team when she sits down. You know who becomes the tallest people on the team? Koki and Brandon, because their torsos are so long. Like, they literally, in my head, they are Alvin and the Chipmunks, where it's just like the long, you just see the long sweater and the little feet sticking out. I say this because when we were making the blue outfits, everyone's, we had to make sure it fit everyone in a right way. Like, especially Jason's butt apron thing had to be a certain length so that he could still freestyle with it. But then, like, with Bro TP and with Liz and Richie, it had to be a certain way because they had harnesses. They had holsters underneath their jackets. So everyone had to fit a certain way. But all of the pants fit at the waist, and then it was supposed to meet where your jacket landed. Now, Brandon and Koki's torsos are extra long. So Koki just has this little... Brandon thankfully had he had a black undershirt, but Koki's character... who was Koki? The one with the glasses. I can't forget. I just see Koki. But he looked like his character too, like out of the anime. But he wore a white shirt. So you see Koki just had a crop top and his white shirt sticking out. And I remember looking at the set and I'm like, gosh, Koki's torso's so long. He also, but the uniform made everyone look so good.
Because the way it was designed, everyone looks snatched in the waist.
Rio. The design of the uniform is very specific, but the way Rio designed it,
Broche,
it looked good. Broche, there we go. No.
No?
Broche was Amy. Because I remember we called her Brioche. Fury, yes. It was the one with glasses. Broche was Amy because we called her Brioche.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a hand.
And then we called Kyle.
Okay.
Kyla in a boy's wig.
She looks like a K-pop star.
Yeah, she looked like a K-pop dream in that blonde short wig. And she was like, I kind of like this. She looked good.
So good.
She looks. Why was everyone looked so good, and everyone looked so snatched in those blue uniforms, and everyone committed to this way too hot freestyle and like day. Like even when you went inside, people couldn't take off things. Like we would strip Shell down as much as we could so that he could breathe, but even then it was so much work to put the armor on. It was so much work for anyone to put their cosplays on, so everyone just powered through.
Yeah.
And so we did the freestyle, and then we did community stage, and that stage was really small. I remember in the beginning, everyone has to line up down, and all the homunculi, for like the first half of the set, the homunculi don't do anything. So we were in the wings just like catcalling you guys and cheering. But I remember like, it was you, Can, and Lauren, and LA, and Skylar, because you guys were all the friends. You guys did not fit on the stage. So you guys were like hovering, because there's that weird space between the
the stage and the screen.
Stage. And there's just like space. And you guys were just like pretending. And we're literally there going, oh my God, you're not even standing on the stage. Like it was gluttony, lust, and greed. And then on the other side, it was like envy, the truth, pride, and sloth. And we're all just like, oh my God, like just being trolls. And that set was so good. If you guys rewatch community stage of FMA, when it's Alphonse's turn on Feel It Still, there's a part where Shell just kind of
he powers down.
That's when he passes out. He like blacks out for a second because it's so hot.
So
he literally said, he's like, I just you kind of see him go. It's not funny. It's only funny because he what a trooper. Like so good.
It's funny because he laughs at it, so we can laugh.
Yeah, so we can laugh at it. Please talk about your in the big meta scene, the Super Saiyan moment.
Okay, first, the voiceover.
Oh my God! I forgot about the voiceover.
There was a voiceover section.
Usually we do voiceovers individually or in like small groups.
Yeah.
This for FMA, the meta scene, we had everyone come to HQ at the same time. You pulled it out of.
Oh no.
We had everyone come to HQ, and we just had one night where we dedicated to everyone saying their piece, which was actually really fun because we all got to enjoy it. Do you want you tell the story of Yosh?
Was this when he?
Yeah.
This was?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Do you remember the story?
No.
Okay.
I just remember the video over and over.
Yes.
And
so
over again.
We were all.
Oh!
He was supposed to be Ling.
Yeah, that's why.
Yosh was Ling, and I was voicing Greed, and Soulmate's sitting there, and we're all filming, and because we're like, to make it sound like we're running away from the camera, we're actually gonna run away from the camera.
We're actually running away from the microphone, so we were like, if you had to do that voiceover, we would physically run up the stairs or down the stairs if we were like need to like run closer or like far away.
Like a full Foley stage. Like when you make like the sound effects, you have to be real. So we're standing there, and Soulmate goes, "All right, ready? 3, 2, 1," and then Yosh just drops. Like it's, and you guys have seen that video. It looks like he dies. He literally goes.
There was no, it doesn't. It's not prompted by anything whatsoever. He goes straight down,
and we all died. That's when Juju's the. That's when we found out Juju had that laugh. But what made it great?
90s.
The 90s. It was what's her face from Oron, or even like Sailor Moon, which
Sailor Moon.
It was so good, but what made it better was that everyone was there. And everyone got to just bear witness.
So good.
What had happened was, he says, there's like one little spot where the rug didn't cover the wood floor. And that's where he pushed off to go run, and he just slipped, is what he says. I think he just died.
I think he forgot how to run.
He forgot how his legs work. He goes down. He just, but it's like not smooth. He just,
his body gave up.
3, 2, 1,
Down.
It takes everyone. There's that split second. We're all like, what? So good. So, but then you had to voice your Super Saiyan.
Super Saiyan. Like, what was my lines?
Something Ishvalan. Something revenge. That was all your lines.
That was my lines. And nothing else to say.
Nothing else.
Community stage. It was so funny because I remember because my friends also support, and I remember they loved that part too because they had told me like it didn't even look like. Okay, so thoughts. I have like multiple thoughts, and I'm trying to like narrow it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember prior to the meta scene, I had to prep for it because it's the gold ISIS wings, so they have the bars on it, and it's a Velcro attached to your neck. So I had to prep that underneath my jacket, so I had to take off the jacket, put it on, and then I wrapped it, used the little dowels and like wrapped up the wings, and I'm okay. This is what it looked like when I was like this, holding the dowels like this.
You look like you have no arms.
No arms, because then I asked someone, can you put my jacket over my shoulders? And I had to walk in like that. And I remember that was so much fun just to go Super Saiyan because no one expects it. And I remember like reading the script, like I don't understand this, but whatever, go with it, right? Just go with it because then the blocking makes sense. And then it was okay on the main stage, the masquerade stage.
I was like,
on the masquerade stage, it wasn't as flawless as the community stage because the community stage I was able to push off the jacket and then just go expand the wings in all of its glory. It was so much fun.
Can I tell you?
It was hilarious.
Go back, watch community stage. First of all, that entire meta scene, you have to watch the commitment of Joseph as Scar, you're just like huffing and puffing. You're like with your frown going, which is it's so funny. It's so committed. And then when May asks you, what do you think of this Scar? You just huff and puff bigger. And then you like push off your jacket, and for a second, everyone goes, why does he have no arms? Where did his arms go? You legit think for a moment, he has no arms. And then
I lost it.
You lost your arms because he doesn't have an arm. And you're like, oh my God, where did they go? And then you see the crowd just react.
It's so
funny. And then you just barrel turn off.
Barrel turn. I remember blocking that in rehearsal. I remember talking to LA. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing because that's my only line. I'm literally, because I remember the blocking, we had to like go to the different groups and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know, I'm angry. Like, this is it. This is it. I'm Scar.
What was that?
No, it's it tipped over.
Oh no.
But I remember that was my thought process until my lines. But that was
so good.
Though that was flawless on community stage.
It was so good.
On Masquerade stage, my jacket didn't come off as cleanly, so it didn't but it was still great.
We'll talk about Masquerade stage. Masquerade stage was just
Masquerade.
For anyone who watched it, it was great. But behind the scenes, there's everything wrong that could have gone wrong, went wrong.
Things happen.
But community stage was like...
Community stage was really good.
It was really good.
The only hard part was closer, obviously, when everyone's on stage.
That was hard because we didn't... Like, at FMA year was probably the last time we had that many people.
I was... Okay. Not shading Juju. But... I remember community stage... Okay, so on the What About Us in the finale,
yes,
when he's supposed to like dip forward.
Oh yes, he went too far.
He's never did that at rehearsal. So I remember because I think I was on the floor grabbing his legs.
You were not the only one. Everyone panicked.
We all panicked because the thing is, as a performer, you practice because that's what you should be doing on stage. Mm-hmm. So if you're practicing wrong, you're going to do it wrong on stage. But if you do something that you never did in rehearsal, that freaks out everyone around you. Mm-hmm. That is just etiquette. Don't do that. Because it's one team, one dream. If we don't know what you're doing, it's such a split second for us to adjust and make sure that you're going to be okay. Thankfully, he didn't swan dive off the stage.
What it was is that he was supposed to do this lean forward and everyone's holding his legs.
Or like a part of him, so he
can go as far forward. He went way too far forward, and I remember Shishi was at the base.
Yeah.
And Shishi's literally gripping, like, usually he just holds it with two hands because he's not the only base, but because he was at his ankles, he had to use all his arms and he had to, like, clench so hard. And I'm watching it because we were homunculi in the front of the stage, and I was like, oh my gosh. And everyone's like, you kind of see on everyone's face, like, probably people don't see it, but as one of the choreographers, I see everyone, like, he starts to go and everyone goes like you can audibly hear him go
trying so hard
and
to make sure that he doesn't die.
Yeah. Like, so good. So good. But also I remember we got on stage and like it was because of where the stage was. We're running in and people didn't know, like, couldn't find their windows properly, and it was the stage, and that's the hard part. But after that, community stage was great. Yeah. We did it, and we're like, we did it once.
Did it well. And one thing that was so super fantastic is literally the entire area was filled with people, even people on the side. Like, that was such a...
That's why we love community stage.
That's why we love community stage, because it allows for anyone and everyone to watch it. And I remember even, like, normally you can't sit on the side where there's no chairs, but they allowed it because for this performance and all that stuff, and it was so good. Also, this was the year that we met Cal.
But it's weird that you say it's this year, and you're right.
Well, at least this was the year that I met Cal.
This is the year. But for some reason, in my head, we've known Cal
forever. And, dude,
Cal, you've just been there since forever. I don't know. I erased the years I don't know you, and I've just plugged you in. But also, this year at AX, we weren't originally slated to do the Masquerade stage.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? We were only supposed to do community stage. Mm-hmm. We like to prepare. I like to prepare. Do I like to prepare?
Yes.
I love to prepare. I went to go pick up our badges on a Wednesday. So on that Tuesday. Monday. The beginning of the week when they're setting up at AX, I went to go pick up our badges because day 0 is Wednesday, day 1 is Thursday. Yeah, and then Fridays 2, 3, 4. So I went to go pick up our badges for the team on Monday. When I'm going to, I messaged at the time Tim Wyckoff, and I go, hey Tim, I'm going to meet you at the convention center. I'm picking up the badges, then I was going to give them to everyone at our last rehearsal on that Tuesday. Tim goes, I actually have to talk to you about something when you get here. And I was like, oh crap, I don't know what that means. So I get to the convention center.
It's like when your significant other says we need to talk.
We need to talk. Or like when your boss is like, can I see you in the office?
And you're like, oh.
I was like, oh no. So I get to the convention center and it's just me because I went with Bevy. I went with Bevy. Like, random. Me and Bevy go. And I go inside, and they're just barely getting to the convention center, and they're just barely starting to set up. Would you like your fan? Like, it's bare bones. They're just shipping everything in. And Tim walks up to me, and he has all our badges in his hand. Hands them over, and he goes, we have a problem. I go, what's the problem? Originally, Masquerade halftime. I'm going to spill some tea right now.
Okay.
Originally, Masquerade halftime was, I'm going to say, taken away from us. It's never guaranteed ours, but it was taken away from us because Kimchi.
That's this year.
Kimchi was supposed to perform. Well, Kimchi had said that morning to AX that she threw out her back and could no longer perform. She could show up, have her booth, walk the fashion show, but could not perform. So now AX didn't have their halftime for Masquerade. So Tim goes, I know this is last minute. Would you guys be able to perform for Masquerade halftime? Now, Masquerade halftime is technically only a 25-30 minute set. Mm-hmm. This set right now, because community stage is like an hour-long set. So we had a 42-minute set. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, I'm not going to have you guys cut it down because I'm asking you last minute. Mm-hmm. But can you guys perform, in addition to performing on Friday, can you perform Saturday alongside the day that you're doing your panel? So we already have a full schedule. He's like, can we add tech and halftime Masquerade? I said, Tim, we'll make it work. So I messaged Board that morning, Monday morning, I go, y'all, we're doing Masquerade halftime. So the team found out Tuesday night, we're doing Masquerade halftime. They're like, what? And I said, yep. It's a completely different stage. We have been literally practicing, like we tape out our stage and we've blocked for a community stage where we can go on and off the stage in the front. It's like now we're going to have to completely change it up for a completely different stage. So, here we go. In addition to doing a music video with Nerd Reactor, in addition to doing a panel, in addition to doing a freestyle, yeah, there's a lot. So we just added that in there. Wow. So, we were doing halftime Masquerade. The reason why things happened was, one, that day we were doing Nerd Reactor. It was a 114-degree weather. And so I told Shell was like, do I have to...
Oh, is that the one outside?
Yeah, where we did Come Alive.
Yeah, it was.
So Nerd Reactor wanted to do a collaboration with us to do a music video for Come Alive. We said yes, and that Tuesday too, they even came and we rehearsed it. The team was like, it was a late night. And I was like, okay, so me and Nerd Reactor, I'm going to admit, we kind of butted heads. Because they wanted a lot more dedication and time. And I said, I can't give you their undivided time, especially on the day of, because it was 1:14. We're dancing outside, not in shade.
Not in the shade.
So none of my dancers are in shade. And I was like, no. I remember I was freaking out. I was spraying everyone with sunscreen. And I was like fanning everyone. I was freaking out. I told Shell, no, you're not putting this, you're not putting the outfit on. You're not putting the armor on. He didn't put that armor on until it was time to do masquerade. I said, you're not. Yeah. Everyone else, I'm already worried because the blues are wearing layers. Like all the homunculi are wearing black in the sun. So Nerd Reactor, I was like, you get an hour to film this. And they filmed it in an hour, and the team did great, but Nerd Reactor wanted more time to do B-roll footage. I said, no, I gotta send them in. So I told Soulmate, I said, Soulmate, you take the team, take them inside, they need water. And she said, okay, so they left. I know Nerd Reactor was like, no, but we need more footage. And I said, Juju, they asked, can Juju stay out here? And Juju, of course, was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I said, are you sure?
Yeah.
And he said, no, I'll do it. But I was like, I can't give you the rest of the team. So I dismissed the rest of the team, and I stayed. Poor Juju stayed out there with the wig and his armor and his cloak and everything for another 45 minutes. Dancing and lip syncing for their video. And then I had to be like, we gotta cut it. We gotta cut it. He needs to go inside.
He's going to die of a heat stroke.
He was going to pass out, but of course Juju didn't complain.
Yeah.
Was just like, I'll do it. And he did it full out every time. And then I was like, okay, we're done. So we went inside and everyone just took a break until it was time to meet up for tech. And me and Juju, I don't know where anyone else was. Me and Juju took the doors and we went to the cosplay repair area. And Tim was like, you guys can just rest here. And we like dressed down and me and him just silently sat there in the air conditioning. And we didn't say anything for 20 minutes. We were just like, I was so hot and I wasn't even the one dancing. I was like, I was so worried for him. And he was like, no, it's okay. And eventually Rostin brought food for us and whatnot. Then Soulmate took a group of people to go do the panel while the rest of us did tech on the stage. True to form, we never get the full amount of time for tech.
And we also never get the full team. So our tech was cut down. We didn't get to run the full set. So we didn't get to walk every entrance. And the stage is different. There's panels, the sides are different, the run-ons are different, not the whole team's there. So we because of course the masquerade contestants get... Yeah.
They are prioritized on that stage. And we just get whatever time is left over. So we did that. Panel happened, they came back, and as they came back, and I'm not going to say drama happened, because drama implies that it was like silly stuff. No, events happened that just were stressful for the team. Everyone handled it great, but outside stress happened on the team, and everyone was like coping with it. We're like, okay, just everyone needs to gather ourselves, we're going to rehearse outside before we run the show. So when we did Masquerade halftime on that stage, we made it through. Yeah. But there were mishaps. Like, the stage was bigger than people expected. The runarounds were longer.
Much longer.
Than people expected. It was funny because as we were doing a runaround, someone told JK he wasn't allowed to be back there. And he said...
A child.
Yeah, because he looks like a child. And he's doing a runaround, and he has to run all the way around. Like, as you go off the stage, you have to run all the way around because that whole back part is blocked off for the soundboard.
Yeah, for all the soundboard. You kind of... Because there's the curtain and the soundboard. Like, there's this nice area, but you cannot run through there. So, like, there's the curtain, soundboard, and then there's the dressing rooms, and then there's the hallway between the soundboard and the dressing rooms. That's where you have to run. So once you go off stage, you literally have to run all the way around all of that just to get to the other side of the stage if that's where your next point needs to be on.
And a lot of our timing wasn't planning for that long runaround, so people had to book it. You had to book it. JK, thankfully he didn't have to book it, but he was like trying to calm down because he's so exhausted. The stage is so big. There's so much running across this wide stage. And so he's walking. Someone started yelling at him he wasn't allowed to be there. And he was like, what? And they're like, where are you going right now? He was like, on stage. I'm performing, like I'm performing right now. And so there was just like a lot of frustrations. There was points where like, because the stage was wide, some partner work ended up getting messed up, so people got hurt, not because they weren't prepared, because the stage didn't allow for them to be ready. So it was unfortunate. Like, when we came off, Some people had minor injuries.
Well, I mean, it's because we knew. Okay, so the difference between community and masquerade stage is community. We know the stage floor is going to be carpet.
Yeah. So we brought shoes to work on carpet.
Shoes for carpet specifically. But then when you're on masquerade stage, if you've ever done masquerade, it's what, linoleum? What is
I don't know. It's like that
slick.
stage. It's slick.
It's slick. So if your shoes don't have grip, you need to hope and pray and give it to God that your shoes can save your life. And if not, if they don't, you're gonna get injured. And that's what happened to a couple people. Yep. And it sucks that it did happen.
Because they were prepared for community stage. Yeah. Because if you don't have slick shoes on the carpet, you're gonna tweak your knee or your ankle because it's gonna get caught. Yeah. So it was like a perfect storm for it to not work out. Some people's like, I remember helping a dancer to their car because their back was thrown because during a lift their shoe slipped and so they had to clench to not drop the person. Someone else, like when you have too much adrenaline too, especially with all the running around, you start losing. So people slipped on the stage because they had too much adrenaline,
or like because of the runaround was so exhausting that they thought that they needed to get there faster, that when they did get onto stage they immediately, like, their shoes just give out because you're running on the slick concrete, then running onto the slick stage. There's no traction for you to run or do anything. So there were unfortunate mishaps, but that was just the nature of it. But we did power through, and honestly, even with the mishaps, every single dancer, every single chorsman pushed through, but also played it off really well.
Pushed through, played it off.
I didn't know.
No, like, not until the end.
Not until the end, until someone had pointed it out, and I was like.
But then also credit to Core. Once we got off stage and we found out people were hurt, everyone who wasn't went right away to go check on them. Like Bevy, of course, nurse, went right away checking on everyone. Anyone who was like, because also
Marley.
With how much, no, it wasn't Marley, because Marley is actually, it would catch on sneakers and stuff like that. It's slick stage. It looks like
gravel, but not gravel, because it's like you put nail polish.
It looks textured. It's like the stage at WAD. Yeah. It's WAD stage. Ugh. Or Fusion stage. But it was, everyone too it was a lot more cardio because you are running more. It was funny because as I was worried for Shell because it was so dark and the stairs weren't lit. So like, I was like, everyone needs to watch for Shell when he comes down the stairs. He has to go down the stairs like a baby because he's like, and when we were done, because he had been running, he Sailor Moon transformed out of his suit. I remember it was
so good.
I came in with the assist, and one guy, this like stagehand security guard was just watching. Shell is literally the minute he came off stage, he's spinning and he's ripping off his thing as he's turning. I'm pulling off whatever's near me, and as he finished, Richie threw him a water bottle. He caught it mid-spin, uncorked it, downed it, and he was like, "Ha!" And this guy was like, "Wow, that was amazing."
It was
the most epic Spocom. I hate you. I hate you, dogs. But Shell literally did a Sailor Moon de-transformation out of Al. And then everyone went outside, and people were like, because it was hot, dry, they were exhausted from being outside. They had just done a 42-minute set on a stage that was 3 times bigger than they had practiced in layers. Like, and then everyone was just helping each other make it out of the convention center. So like that day, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely like we were hit. And we were like
so exhausted.
And thankfully it was the last thing we had to do. The next day, everyone just got to enjoy the con. Yeah. We didn't have to do closing ceremonies that year. We were just like, guys, we made it.
We made it. We did it. We were able to do masquerade. We made it work. Even with all the small mishaps, it was still enjoyable, and it was still something that I think a lot of people did enjoy watching.
FMA year, it was encompassed perfectly because Toby, Clarissa, and Dez and Nifa came to watch that set. And when they came backstage, after we performed on Masquerade stage, they had already seen it. Some of them had seen it on community stage. Yeah. But it was like Toby and Clarissa's first time seeing it on Masquerade stage. Those 4 came up to me. And I remember Dez going, I don't know what team I'm watching. Because Des has been there since day one. Mm-hmm. And he was so impressed with what was on the stage. Toby, if you've ever heard Toby react in an audience. It's Toby.
Toby's the loudest one you can hear.
The loudest one.
You can hear him in every video if he is recording or in the audience.
He's always so loud.
You know it's Toby.
Toby died, and Clarissa, because she had to actually, because of a new job, she had to step out midway through the year. Mm-hmm. So even her, she'd been there at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
She had left for a while, came back, watched that, and she was like, everyone was like, what is this team? And I remember saying it to somebody, I was like, something happened this year. This is a transition year. Like, if core leveled up and cosplay's core leveled up on that performance level.
On that stage, like
catharsis doesn't come without a little bit of a stress ball change. You don't become a butterfly, but just, you go through a lot of stress.
They turn into goop.
Inside the cocoon?
Yeah. So,
Ew.
like, caterpillars, when they're in the cocoon, they turn into goop, and then they basically just, like, reform into a butterfly. I read this on Tumblr. I think.
That's gross.
So we, as
Had
core...
to turn into goop.
Turned into goop.
I mean, that's not an accurate of what happened. We were hit. Mad props to FMA, year of core. Y'all, that was a heat mother trucking wave. We melted and turned into beautiful butterflies.
We melted into
melted. That team melted. How did everyone's cosplay not fall off of them? You know why? Because it was very well made.
It was very well. The only times that it, like, didn't were, like, if some people super glued or hot glued their trims on.
Yes, that glue did not hold.
That glue did not hold.
Oh, did not hold.
So.
And that's a credit to everyone who made Shell's Alphonse, because that thing was not glued together with hope and a prayer. It was glued together with whatever Josh had in his car. Whatever that cement was. Mm-hmm. Y'all. So we're gonna end there because Comic-Con was a whole nother monster. That was a whole nother thing. That was Sucker Punch year.
That was
Taco Foot.
Taco Foot.
That was Taco Foot! But that was Taco Foot and that was Cell Phone.
Oh no.
We have to talk about that. We have to talk about, you guys are going to learn about Taco Foot, Cell Phone, and Chib's knee. Was that? So if there was like injuries sustained at FMA, there were injuries sustained at SDCC.
Yeah, there was. There was.
My Taco Foot wasn't even the worst one, guys. I wish I could get Koki in here. Koki, I love you! Anyway, so we're gonna end there. FMA was a great set to do right after closing a 3-year-long trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, to come flying out with FMA, mad props.
Huge.
So.
Because, like, FMA was such a... You basically put fan fiction on stage, and it was so loved. What else could you do after, except to do another beloved anime?
Yeah.
You know?
And we all had a love for FMA.
Yeah.
This team had a love. Clearly it was a lot of people's favorite. And they just attached to these certain characters so much. But that ends this episode. Tomorrow, we actually have a couple announcements. Tomorrow is Work on Your Core with Joe. So tomorrow at 7:30 p.m., Joe will be doing housing fundamentals with everyone. It is another online class. It is a master class series on Zoom. If you follow us on social media, you will be able to get the Zoom code meeting. It is free for everyone. So Joe is teaching a class for free, and you will be able to talk to her and ask questions. You'll be able to ask her questions about housing and just about her as a human, because she's great. And then on Friday, we have Improve Your Improv with Bro TP. Liz is hosting, and of course, my beautiful soulmate, y'all.
Sonari.
She is... It's funny because Soulmate doesn't think she's a great freestyler. What? I know.
No!
I love watching her freestyle because, for me, when I watch Soulmate dance, she it's like watching someone, because I'm looking at Cora right now, it's like watching someone go into the Avatar state when Sonali dances on stage.
Oh, you pointed at Cora.
Cora.
Oh.
You guys!
No, oh my god, look at it. So good.
Look at my Cora. Anyone who hates on Cora, I hate you. Cora is my favorite Avatar character, and I finally found Avatar Cora. How do I get her? Why is she not facing me?
Well, look at the camera and see where it's based.
It's not focusing on her. But she's Avatar
do
state.
do the influencer thing.
Does that work? Cora. With Rava in the center. Isn't she great? Y'all. I have all my strongest gal pals right here in front of me. And now I have Cora. Oh, I love her. I need to get you your own Cora.
Anyway, improve your improv with Liz
Avatar State, Soulmate.
Avatar State, Sonali, and Liz. Okay, I love watching them freestyle because you never know what they are going to pull out of their, like, Rolodex
of moves.
Of knowledge, of moves, of things.
Here's the thing. Soulmate has so many styles that she doesn't really talk about. She has dance hall, she has locking, she has popping, she has ISO, she has whacking, she has technique, she has a lot in there. She'll never say it. She just does it. And you're like, I didn't know you could do all these things. She's like, oh yeah, by the way, I can do this. Yeah.
You're like, what?
And you're like, what? But and you watch her face go into performance mode. It's like the Avatar state.
100%.
100%.
100%.
Her eyes glow.
Rava just like glows.
Her arms get longer.
That would be so weird.
It's like, because Waterbender, she gets the, Katara does like the...
No, she is not. Whatever.
Octopus arms?
What is her name? I forgot her name. The one without the arms?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Anyway. I'm excited for that.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be so good. It's going to be so...
So good. So that is on Friday. And then... On Saturday, we have a new premiere of a new YouTube show. It is Gold Star. Sorry, you're hidden. Come over here. Gold Star with Soulmate premiering on Saturday on our YouTube channel at 4 p.m. It will be a premiere. We can all watch together. Gold Star is a new series where Sonali tries a bunch of things. She's going to try making stuff, she's going to try doing stuff, and she gets a gold star because she tried. She will not guarantee that it'll be good, but she will guarantee that she tried. I watched this first episode. I was by myself at like 9 in the morning laughing hysterically watching this episode. So I can't wait till you guys watch it. Premieres this Saturday at 4 p.m. And then, of course, on Sunday, our good old Koki will do Koki versus Vegetables live stream right here on this YouTube channel at 6:30 p.m.
You should do Brussels sprouts.
This episode, he's allowing his fellow Corsmen to pick, and we had a long discussion last night. We had an argument last night.
We'll give him about food, about things as well. So
we get to choose. I am still saying that we should just send a bouquet of flowers to his house, and he has to figure out which flowers are edible.
I think Brussels sprouts because it's just mini cabbages, even though they're really not.
But then we also said cauliflower. We would just send him a bouquet of cauliflower.
Because we're thinking like, okay, what doesn't really have a taste? Cauliflower has no taste.
I say okra because everyone hates okra.
Okra's disgusting.
It's so good.
No, that is subjective, of course.
So anyways, that's everything that's happening this week. So make sure you guys follow, hit the notification bell if you haven't yet.
Ding.
Wherever it is.
Ding,
make sure
ding.
you subscribe if you have not yet. And make sure you're following us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. Our TikTok. You guys, we're starting to be really...
We're trying. We're doing things.
We're trying. We're trying to TikTok. We just were ShamWow last night about the whole walking in place thing.
Walking in place, I've watched so many tutorials. And seeing it done in person by Jeannie, I was like, wow.
I think my version was pretty applicable.
No, of course.
It's aggressive.
Same. I don't get okra. I don't get it.
I love okra.
I don't get it.
But I yes, like Nifa said, I also eat flowers. That's not my choice though, Nifa. You get a choice. You also are part of the flower eating debacle. So
okra's like gentrified jalapenos.
wow, that's really good. I really want some okra right now.
Describe things
I
badly.
low-key kind of want to order Dickie's Barbecue because they have
Dickie's.
fried okra.
Dickies like the shorts.
Yes,
and
like the
pants.
shorts. Also, I'd like to do a shout out. If you see my really awesome earrings, these are polymer clay Pokeballs. My
Polymer,
friend,
yeah.
I'm actually going to have her advertisement next week on my show. My friend, Erica Schaefer, makes clay earrings. She actually made me a bunch. I'm going to show you guys. They're so
They're
awesome.
really freaking cute.
They're called, find her on Etsy. She's called Schaefer Clay Maker. I'll actually have it on my Instagram, and I'll put it on the Core Instagram.
We love a good rhyme.
It's right here. Schaefer Clay Maker. Right there. There's the Instagram, her Etsy shop. I requested blowfish. It's an inside joke with us. So she made me little blowfish. And also, these are her best sellers. I bought these for my sister. I kind of want a pair for myself. Rainbow earrings. You guys,
Rainbow.
focus on them. They're so pretty. Anyways, these rainbow stud earrings. They're huge. They're beautiful. And she made my Pokemon. She gave these to me as a present. But her name is, it's Schaefer Claymaker on Instagram and on Etsy. So go,
Yes, Phyllis.
go
Same last name.
follow her. I know. Phyllis Schaefer, Schaefer Claymaker. Go follow her on Etsy and Instagram. Her stuff is amazing. She has really good polymer clay, everything. She also made Sailor Moon ones, which were super cute. And she also made these
just
Navis. She made a charcuterie. Is it charcuterie? Charcuterie?
Oh my god,
Charcuterie?
I saw a meme that said the reason why us millennials like charcuterie boards is because we lived off of Lunchables. And
That's
I
not
was-
inaccurate.
I was shamroud. I was like, wow, we do.
Wow, we did. That was our budget charcuterie?
Shocker.
Charcuterie. Anyway, she made a whole board out of that for earrings.
So cool.
Someone wanted a charcuterie board. Charcuterie board. It's like that team with the charcuterie board. Anyways, we need to eat dinner. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with my special guest, Miss Anna Mae.
Hi.
Joseph. I'll probably have Joseph and Rawson pop in again. I will have Shell at some point when he's home from work. Because they're the only people I can interact with. I have no choice. But anyways, make sure you tune into everything else. This is my haircut.
Looks bomb.
Thank you.
Doesn't she look bomb?
I'm
.com,
really
.co.uk,
so
.gov,
excited.
.edu.
Anyways, hands out. Sotomato on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sotomato.
Sormato.
Thank you guys so much. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.